on it. There you go. For me, it already worked, so it doesn't change much. But if it doesn't work, then that's why. And then if that still doesn't work, there might actually be why, because it is set by default on disabled. So yeah, just turn one of them on to default, and same thing for desktop audio, just have one of them. And then finally, I mean, this usually fixes the issue for me. If this doesn't work for you, however, there is something which usually fixes the issue if all of the rest doesn't, is you'll want to go on, so you'll click on your Windows, and you'll type up Device Manager. So there you go, this one, just have it open over here. And this is like the save all for whenever you're out of options. If you scroll down, you go to Sound, Video, and Game Controllers. You will see Realtek Audio. Now, this is not for every PC. Some of them don't have it. But if you do have Realtek under this little list, this might be the one causing the problem, because Streamlabs and Realtek have a lot of issues together, unfortunately. So what you'll want to do is you'll just right-click on it. Yeah. You'll click Uninstall Device, and then click Uninstall. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do it right now because otherwise my voice will get cut off.
Y'all hear me?
But what you want to do is you'll just click uninstall, and then I think it might prompt the option, but either way, you'll just want to restart your PC. It'll get reinstalled, and yeah. Usually this fixes it. I mean, this has worked, for example, for me when my mic just wasn't getting picked up, and I've even got a video on it, and I tried everything, nothing worked, but as soon as I uninstalled and then restarted my PC, started working again. So that is usually what restart your Streamlabs. There will not be a bar here. There won't be the red, yellow, and green here. There will be nothing. So this is how you fix it. You just want to make sure that you go to, so you click on it, you go to your settings, and you click on default. If default doesn't work for you, you'll just have to choose your actual mic and then click on it. There you go. For me, it already worked, so it doesn't change much. But if it doesn't work, then that's why. And then if that still doesn't work, there are a few other options. You might want to go over to your settings here, over to audio, and here you're going to have there you go. This is actually quite an important one. You'll go over to mic and auxiliary device. You'll try and make sure that 2 and 3 are disabled. And make sure that just number 1 is enabled. If your mic doesn't work at all, then this might actually be why, because it is set by default on disabled. So yeah, just turn one of them on to default, and same thing for desktop audio, just have one of them. And then finally, I mean, this usually fixes the issue for me. If this doesn't work for you, however, there is something which usually fixes the issue if all of the rest doesn't, is you'll want to go on, so you'll click on your Windows, and you'll type up Device Manager. So there you go, this one, just have it open over here. And this is like the save all for whenever you're out of options. If you scroll down, you go to Sound, Video, and Game Controllers. You will see Realtek Audio. Now, this is not for every PC. Some of them don't have it. But if you do have Realtek under this little list, this might be the one causing the problem, because Streamlabs and Realtek have a lot of issues together, unfortunately. So what you'll want to do is you'll just right-click on it. Yeah, you'll click Uninstall Device, and then click
Can
Uninstall.
you
Now,
hear
obviously,
me,
I'm not going to do it
guys?
right now, because otherwise my voice would get cut off. But what you want to do is you'll just click Uninstall, and then I think it might prompt the option, but either way, you'll just want to restart your PC. It'll get reinstalled, and yeah. Usually this fixes it. I mean, this has worked, for example, for me when my mic just wasn't getting picked up, and I've even got a video on it, and I tried everything, nothing worked, but as soon as I uninstalled and then restarted my PC, started working again. So that is usually what fixes most of the issues with sound on Streamlabs OBS. But yeah, so I recommend you first go through those
Is
simpler
it better
options.
now,
'Cause they take
chat?
less time. I mean, just
Let me
clicking on here
know.
and going, monitor off might be the issue. But yeah, if nothing works, that's gonna be your last option. I hope you guys will have found this video
Let's
useful.
go.
Obviously, if you've got any more problems, then
This
feel
we're
free to
talking
ask me
about.
in the comments. Or ask me in my Discord. I'll probably have a link in there, and I'd be more than happy to help you. We can have discussions about it. You can send me screenshots and whatever, and I can help you because I know how painful it is when something doesn't work on Streamlabs. It's happened to me a lot, and yeah, I want to make sure that you guys have a solution. And yeah, that'd be cool for you guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and have a great day, guys. Welcome everybody to my first video on YouTube. I just recently
Welcome
figured out
back.
how to reactivate my mic since I had an issue, which caused the
yeah.
audio to not be picked up by
Let's
Streamlabs,
start the
and I wanted to share the
officially.
solutions that I used
First,
with you guys, so that hopefully it could be helpful to you guys. So the first thing, obviously, that you need to check is to make sure that your mic isn't muted, as you can see here by this little bar across. But obviously, I'm assuming most of you have gone past that stage already. So the first real step is
for fucking time, chat.
Yes, my baby. Big part in why I want you. For your love, it ain't no telling what I want to. Yeah, you bad. I guess that's why they hating on you. Why they mad? It's because they ain't got nothing on you. I ain't trying to waste your time. And I ain't trying to make you mine. But if it happen, that's fine. I hope I learn to treat you right over the time. And I ain't lying, I've been dropping bags on them packs to make that money stay. And I've been trying to run it up so I can turn up on the ass. And you just came inside my life, don't make me put you in the past. People say shit make you wonder, I try hard to make you laugh. Let's see how these bitches like you in a new breaking bag. I just flew you on a jet with private thoughts to make it back. It's way too early, but they talking, so I hit you with that same. Jump out the back, I'm like lay back the way I pop. I'm thinking about all the times I hit the black to get that shit. I used to say make you mine. But if it happen, that's fine. I hope I learn to treat you right over the time. Thought I was pressure, I ain't lying, and that's a fact. She told me, baby, look relaxed. Wrapped up her hair, showed me how to hit it from the front and back. I stay so down, she told me time. Steady pulling on her hair. But we just friends, I got some pieces of my heart I'm trying to map. You like keep it real, I won't tell no lie, I tell you how I feel. My people with me keep it still, want you to help me change for real. Ain't speaking on my past because I'm trying to lose that pain for real. I'm like betas, I ain't the game for real. We done bust a nigga brain for real. Your smile play a big part in why I want you. For your love, it ain't no telling what I want to. Yeah, you bad. Why they mad? Because they ain't got nothing on you. They ain't trying to waste your make me feel some shit I never felt and I won't let you down, baby. I'm a real slime. I'm talking time to time, make me feel. Wow.
Is this better, chat? Let me know. Alright. Spitball freestyle. Here we go. Be active. Alright, so what we doing today? Baby.
feel like in my household, my opinion is not valid, and it will never be valid as long as I live. My parents will yell at me, they'll get mad at me, and we'll get into like such large arguments. It's even gotten to the point of one time where I've gotten into arguments with my parents, like, you're gonna have to move out if you don't like agree with these things.
Let's go.
I've sent or received nudes.
Do I have to
3,
answer this?
2, 1, go.
Girl, I mean, like,
If one day I want to get a certain job or go into a political office, I just don't ever want to have somebody to hold that against me. Even when people send me nudes, I'm like, I didn't necessarily need that. Like,
Wait,
pics when they're just,
wait.
you know?
That's
Are we
tough.
saying nudes?
Nudes.
Oh my god, I thought we were saying news. N-E-W-S.
Nudes.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry. I don't send nudes because I just do things on social media. I want to pursue acting. I feel like my body's a temple. You gotta pay to see it, if at least. Same as Daniel said, it can come back and bite you. I'm just scared.
Revenge porn is very real, and I think most women or women adjacent people have received
Fuck, it's women. You know?
unsolicited pics.
I
As
don't
like a
want no
bisexual
smoke.
person and kind of just being in
Video
like a
alphabet
world that's
gang.
hyper-sexualized already,
I
and it
don't
sucks
want
because that's
no
kind of like the age of
smoke.
social media and like
Save
LGBTQ
me the
youth is
smoke.
that pretty much like they have to seek validation online. That's like really like the way to do it.
I agree exactly with what Makai said. I mean, it is like the form of validation now. Like sending nudes is love, but which
This
hurts,
makes me just
so
want to.
yeah.
This makes me just want to jump over it because I feel like I'm in the wrong area. You know, we're gonna go here.
If like they should respect your values if you don't want to send nudes, and if not, like it's pretty clear to me that they're just using me for my body. Nudes has a lot to do with appearance, and putting a lot of value on how you appear can just sometimes be damaging.
To piggyback off that, it's really important too, like when you're growing up, no matter like your body type or
Hey,
how
chat,
you
what
look,
y'all think?
everyone has like beauty in them. So it's important to love your body and love like how you look because like girl, that's your body. Like flaunt what you got, boo. That validation needs to come from within,
He's
not from other people.
definitely-
Because like I know I'm sexy. I don't even know if I'm sexy. So
Anyway,
period 2.
I ain't trying to get canceled.
Is that going in?
Anyway,
Skinny jeans are out of style.
nah. It's the off a
go.
mean pair of jeans, chat. Mean.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It was just the era of the time. It was like rock. It was like pop rock, lots of skinny jeans, and then turned to like ripped jeans. I think pants are getting bigger. I don't know if it's because like maybe we're shifting more towards like androgyny. I'm over here because I think that skinny jeans. I don't like them, and I would wear them because I also have like chicken legs. So like that's not happening
Wait,
for
is
me.
it out of style or in style?
The question was skinny
If I
jeans
could,
are
I'd
out
knit
of
all of my
style.
clothes.
Oh, so I'm
Ain't
saying that they are
nobody-
in style?
Yeah, skinny jeans.
Oh no,
So
they're
I
out
think
of
it'd be a good
style.
idea for
I
chat.
recently bought my like
Hey,
first
when I
pair
play
of like
this guy,
baggier jeans, kind of
I
like
got
what
some
he's
of
wearing,
these
and I was
in
like blown away. Honestly, like there's so much space. You don't have to
Shit,
worry
I ain't
about it
even
like
paying
bunching
attention.
up and stuff. Like
I ain't
there's-
even
yeah, I
paying
don't know why
attention.
we ever stuck with skinny jeans to begin with.
I think the whole skinny jeans side part thing is generational politics that is trying to like distract us from what we actually disagree about. Like nobody actually cares about the skinny jeans and middle parts. Like millennials, please stop making songs about it. It's not that deep.
I get my news from YouTube. 3, 2, 1, go.
Chat, y'all Gen Z. How many of these y'all get? How many y'all? Can't speak to
I
this.
just somewhat disagree
How
because
many of
I
these
try
y'all
not to just,
identify with?
stay on YouTube because it can be a lot of disinformation.
YouTube,
But I
Google,
also
you
feel
just gotta
like,
make sure
I
you check
follow a
that
lot of
shit out
political
first.
YouTubers, and I feel like their perspectives are different than what's on the mainstream because, like, 3 corporations own all of the media.
Social news, Twitter, 100%
She woke
easily.
chat.
But like if it's like some political stuff, I have like subscriptions to like New York Times, even Fox and stuff, just so that I get a perspective from everyone. And I tend to go ahead and like focus more on like the journalism stuff. And YouTube is like the headlines, but I don't click the video and like
Shout out to
deliberately watch
YouTube.
it
Y'all
until
about
I've
to pay
known
my bills.
the facts.
The ability of Twitter
Light
to
bill,
get,
the water bill.
opinions out there from people who aren't political pundits is really valuable. And, when big things happen, Twitter usually hears about it first.
I feel like it kind of just comes down to like a media literacy thing, and it's something that like our generation and further generations are going to have to face. We haven't been in this era where there's like what Sarah was saying about like the democratized way of social media where like everyone can say information. We're like in this new era where we pretty much have to learn how to decipher which is valuable and valid information and what's not. And like as social media continues to grow, I feel like we're just going to keep becoming more literate.
And I feel like we should be taught this in schools. We're a whole new era. Like, we grew up with like tablets and laptops, whereas in like previous generations didn't, which allows us obviously to have more diverse opinions, but I think that should be taught in school as well.
Do your guys' parents ever just call you and be like, did you know this happened? And you're like, yeah, it happened like 5 hours ago. And you're like, did you just find out now?
It's usually fake news with my mom.
Oh my
It's usually fake news with
My mom. She gets news through Facebook.
Same.
Literally, she
Same,
calls me.
same,
She's like, did you hear about this? Like, mom, that's right.
Yeah,
She's like, it is.
yeah.
Like my mom, when she was on Instagram, she just was like, she was seeing the wrong stuff. And then she was like, you know, the vaccine, those microchips. And I was like, Mom.
I think it's also important to think about like why people believe that. Like, yeah, it's like stupid and it's funny to make fun of, but like people are afraid of like, you know, really rich people who are going to be like controlling a lot of stuff without, you know, democratic elections and without any accountability. And it makes sense that people would feel like, you know, I don't really know if I can trust the government.
My parents and I agree on political and social issues. 3, 2, 1, go.
Y'all gonna have to
My
watch this
parents
shit.
like raised me again on the whole thing of like look at every single side, and I guess it didn't go necessarily their way, but at the same time like sometimes it ends up being a wreck, but like whenever it's a wreck we come back and we're like, I see your point, but here's what I think and here's why, loaded with facts, not just like, oh, I think this because this and this and this X and X and said. No, it's because this is a percentage, this is a statistic that I'm pointing out.
Honestly, I used to try and like show them a different perspective and like have an open conversation, but like I'm kind of at the point now where it's like, you know what, let's just not talk about it. It's probably for the best.
You know, my parents always say to me, like, you pay attention to politics more than we do, and we, like, learn from you. And sometimes we get into little arguments. That can be a good, like, way to sort of inform each other, because obviously they have more experience, like, historically, like, what went on. But they can also say, like, yeah, I don't understand, you know, this specific issue. Can you, you know, get me up to speed? And
I would like to have a disclaimer from my mom and dad. What's coming out of my mouth is coming out through love. Also, if they're watching this, please stop watching this. My parents are very closed-minded and conservative, and there have been fights, as in Daniel's family. I feel like in my household, my opinion is not valid, and it will never be valid as long as I live. I don't want to be quiet about things, and I want to speak up and share my opinion, but when it comes to that, my parents will yell at me, they'll get mad at me, and we'll get into like such large arguments. It's even gotten to the point of one time where I've gotten into arguments with my parents, like, you're gonna have to move out if you don't like agree with these things. And it's like, I understand what you're saying and all, but you're telling me that if I don't do what you're saying, what you think is correct, I'm not allowed to think what I think is correct because what you think is correct is concrete.
Kind of similar but different.
No,
like
that's
I'm actually grateful that my parents and I have different political opinions, because I think it's kind of forced me to try and see the other side and try to understand why they think a certain way.
sometimes those disagreements are fundamental to your identity. Like, they say a lot about how you look at the world, how you treat other people, and it's hard to separate that. I don't want to be friends with someone who thinks that, like, people who are poor or unhoused people do that because it's their choice, because that's a fundamental disagreement with what I believe.
That's fair, but also family, I feel like, is different. They're immigrants. There are certain issues that they won't, you know, fully understand. Yes, it would be nice if they tried to.
It's very different with it, like friends or like your parents or
Exactly.
family.
Yes.
I agree 100% with Daniel. My parents came from Romania. It was communist at that point, so their views on the world are not going to be the same as everyone's as like they were, you know, so it changes because where you come from is so different from America.
I have felt depressed. 3, 2,
Did that work?
1, go.
Come on, guys.
All right, that for sure worked.
There are a lot of points where it is romanticized, and I think it's a difficult struggle. And also, I think like within like the Black community, there also is just not a lot of attention to mental health at all. Obviously, there's points where I feel flustered and I feel like, oh, like everything's crumbling around me, and that's like a very common human thing.
People want to talk about how depressed they are until you're like, hey, I haven't taken a shower in 4 weeks and I can't get out of bed and I haven't been eating food. And they're like, ew, that's gross. It's like, that's what depression is.
Especially with
Got
our
a good
generation,
point.
what ends up happening is that some small thing happens and we're depressed. The term is just used so loosely. When you say comments like that, it takes away the power, in a sense, from like people that actually are seeking help.
There we go,
So
chat.
I'm about to have a really vulnerable moment with y'all.
Any memory,
So
but
my whole
I
life
finally
I
got
have been
worked out.
so
See,
bullied,
where we want
and
this?
words
I drop
hurt
in bottom.
so much.
I
And 6 months ago, I almost took my life because of like words. They have this effect
Words are
on
so
you.
hurtful, chat. Like, why do people do it? Why?
And my friend's mom posted, if you need to talk to someone, to call this number. And I talked to them, and I spoke to them on the phone for 2 hours by myself at nighttime. And if it wasn't for her just doing that, I feel like I wouldn't have been
this
here.
whole time I've been feeling like dudes are girls.
Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That takes a lot of guts to speak up about it.
My whole life, I've wanted to show kindness through me, and I hope that I do show kindness to others, because I don't want other people to feel the same way I felt, because if I can help someone feel that smile or that joy, for me, it would make it would.
Hold on, Jack. Give me a second. Bro, this shit is annoying. Desktop audio. Ew. Jack, y'all hear me now? Y'all understand what the fuck I'm saying? Or is it still bugging them?
So every morning I wake up, I kiss both of them. We equally fight when we make up. We equally cover my walls by kissing. Which looks like this. Looks like that little trio kiss.
Homie has a full threesome there waiting for him out here. Like, chat. Y'all were ever this lucky?
I get jealous when I see my partner with someone else. 3, 2, 1, go.
I just didn't do strongly disagree because, I mean, of course, jealousy is a factor in polyamory, but it's something that we just communicate about, and I do get jealous occasionally, yes.
I think in other parts of our lives, like work, friend, family, we kind of like suppress that jealousy. You can't really act out on it. So why, when it comes to relationship, you can just go and act out on it and get mad at your partner for it, or tell them you can't talk to this person or that person.
I found through polyamory that I like thrive off of love from multiple people, and I don't think I'm somebody to take that away from people I
This is giving very much. It's a
love either. So I feel that it would be wrong for me to feel jealous when it's something that I want. Instead, I replace it with the word.
Start everything with I feel as not hurt anyone saying I feel this.
Even a lot of polyamory people don't know, which is compersion, which is like the opposite of jealousy, where I actually feel really happy when I see my significant other with somebody else. Yeah.
So I haven't been in a quad, right, where there have been 4 of us and we were all sort of internal.
How high do this chat? Y'all know how high this shit goes? I didn't know it goes this high. Really didn't.
Dating one another, but I have had 3 girlfriends at once, and these were parallel relationships. While jealousy isn't like a super huge problem that I deal with, it can emerge from other things other than seeing them with someone else, right?
We've been married for
14
years?
or so, yeah.
13, 14, yeah, 14 years.
Yeah,
we've been married 14
We just realized that not one person can fulfill all your needs. Inker and I just dated for a minute, honest. Like, we actually were friends for like a year, and then she realized she was out of my league. And we remained friends since, And
You couldn't handle me.
Nah, it's true.
Bruh.
My fam.
I wish he did. Bruh, I didn't want. Bruh, I wish you would have told me that. I ain't want you, bitch. I ain't fuck.
Family approves of my relationship.
Big. Below subpar. Subpar at best. Chat, we already are.
3, 2, 1, go.
Not gonna lie, probably like a 5 or something.
Okay, so I'm actually like over here, like on the other side of this line, because I come from a traditional Korean Christian home, and me marrying a Puerto Rican was unacceptable. They pretended like he didn't exist, hoping he'd just go away.
Night before the wedding, are you sure?
2 weeks before the wedding, my mom was like, you can still call it off, right?
Oh, that's crazy.
So it was pretty rough, which is why I'm not actually out to my parents. I don't really talk to them very much. There's no way that I can even approach this subject, which is kind of why I'm here today, because I want to show people, hey, look, we exist, and it's okay.
Coming out to my mom, it took actually a couple years. And so her reaction was more of a curiosity where she was just asking me questions about it. I think her unconditional love was the acceptance of our polyamory, that now she's able to show it off and talk about it to people that they don't understand, and she's able to that's my daughter, so it's pretty awesome.
While they support my lifestyle, I don't necessarily think that they quite understand it. When I have undergone separations or breakups with partners and tried to rely on my family for a little bit of emotional support to help me grieve those losses, sometimes I'm met with well, you got another partner. I don't see what the big deal is, right?
I guess the way my mom has always seen it, she's always seen I'm in a relationship where I'm a slave maybe in the background, and these girls are telling me what to do and controlling my life and taking away all my money.
Chat, imagine this. Fuck the whole polyamorous thing, right? Your favorite girlfriend dumps you, but you can't tell your wife where you sat. Just imagine that. That's tough. Tough. See, this way be open and honest. I know all my hoes know I'm loyal.
I was really emotional during our wedding because I didn't expect my mom not to show up to the wedding. I thought she was going to be in the background just mad, They've always done a really good job of going to all my sport events, to everything that I've done in life, they've always been there. Except for this one moment. Even our gender reveal, they didn't show up to the gender reveal either.
You can cheat in polyamorous relationships.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
When you date somebody who's monogamous, right? Or let's say that they're married, and because you're polyamorous, they're like, oh, hey, look, she's easy, or, he's available. That's cheating. You're not cheating, because you're being honest. But their partner is not consenting to the relationship that you're having with that person.
It is still an individual decision of mine to say, okay, well,
technically,
am I
they
going
ain't
to
cheating
involve
on
myself
you.
or not?
They
I mean,
cheating
sure, I
with
think
you.
that clearly they're cheating, and I may try to encourage them to, say, hey, you should tell them
Figure it out.
but I'm not cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Formulate. I'm good. I'm not.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Because, we did it. When the second we find out that there was someone else,
cheating is not fucking other people.
Your polyamorous relationship, if
Cheating is breaking boundaries. Cheating is an act of betrayal.
would that constitute
Cheating is
cheating
betrayal.
in some senses?
So,
Well, my answer,
is
because I met
commonly found
them
in fucking
together,
someone
I don't
else.
see that if
Most
they
women
were in the
don't
mood,
want
that would be cheating.
fucking
That if
around.
if they
Their
told me
partner's
about it or
fucking
whatever,
around.
just because their relationship
Bring them
was
saying,
what it was.
there's times where I'll start fooling around with her and she'll come out of the shower. But before we finish, the other person will be there.
You can 100% cheat, and the reason being, we're open to pretty much everything. We're allowed to have sex outside of the relationship. We're allowed to date other people. We date people together. But the problem is if you're not honest about it. I just swiped on Bumble, whatever, went on a date, and I didn't tell her anything. That's cheating.
So they got
want
agreement
children.
that they can tell each other when them fucking are.
3,
Like,
2,
probably got a cue or
1,
something.
go.
I want children.
Oh, this one.
I forget. Listen.
I went from wanting 4 kids
Y'all
to
seen
2
that video,
kids to
chat?
0.
Y'all seen that? see. Sister Delusion, big man, right? If I could find this woman, let me see TikTok. Bro, if I can find this one TikTok, what is let's see the worst of Africa? If that's Africa. Alright.
Once we started paying bills and living in Los Angeles, I was like, I can't do this.
I'm of the mind of if we have children, somebody has to stay home to raise them. I'm born and raised Puerto Rico. I came out here to pursue a career that I have successfully made a living off. And she started her own business. Are you gonna give up your career to raise a child? She's like, no. She's like, are you gonna give up your career to raise a child? He's like, no.
It is kind of selfish on our part, and we understand that it's not the norm necessarily. But for us, it's worked out.
He gonna have some third poops tonight. He said, no, I have a long conference, leave me alone. But they all on the table. I need a child. Give me the pass. Give me the pass.
Out, and we love our life.
We're happy for it.
We're happier for it.
I strongly agree because I have a 9-year-old already. So, I mean, I just felt like it would be a little weird to be like, yeah, strongly disagree, right? But I do think it's a separate question, though, right, of whether or not I'd like to bring more life into the world, right? And that's just something that I talk about and think about with partners and the like. But polyamorous children or children born into polyamorous families aren't necessarily protected by the state or the society in the same way that people born into dyadic or monogamous units are, who can access marriage, so on and so forth. So
she's only 21, I'm only 23, so obviously there's going to be some problems with that financially and stuff like that. But we do talk about having kids. I want a little boy and to raise him, but I don't know. I just don't think I'm ready.
We never wanted to have children. We were probably in that side, way over there, you know. And after discussing the whole marriage thing, we're like, well, once we get a house and we do this, we'll eventually take that journey. So we got a house, then we actually ended up getting married. Now she's pregnant.
Congratulations.
Yeah. The baby bump.
Oh, okay.
We found like a birth center, even through COVID, that will allow all three of us in the room when the baby's born.
And then for the babies, we're going to do like a power of attorney so that all of us can have the same type of guardianship over the baby, any medical or anything like that.
We actually found that this year 3 dads were put on the same birth certificate for their kid. They actually wrote a book about it. I'm really interested in learning more, but with that means it's possible.
I am equally committed to all my partners. 3, 2, 1, go.
I really am somewhere between these two. What about, is here good? I'm struggling with the understanding equal. I don't think equal means the same. So I know I don't have the same commitment. How I orient myself towards keeping my commitment, I do think is the same. It may look like to an external eye that I don't have equal commitments to them all, right? So
I think that's why you're on this side closer than on that side, is because you're willing to be present, whether it be for one or the other. Like for me, it's dating a male and a female. Like I can do Chacha's eyelashes, but definitely not Jimmy's. Not dig that. So there's totally that difference, but like the willingness to be present for your partners, whether they want that same affection or not, that's why I think you're a little more on this side than on that side, even if you're not all the way over here.
Yeah, that's why I'm on this side too, is the fact that, I'm committed to making my relationships work. I'm committed to that person and to bringing to that person what they need from me. And then if I can't do it, then the relationship doesn't work.
Openness, communication, obviously being like, okay, I have a partner, this is my main partner. Maybe they just want to have sex, or maybe they just want to go on dates or have somebody to cuddle with.
This is my primary partner, so they are a priority at the end of the day. I feel like if we had a third person in our relationship, it would be equal and we would be on that side.
She's my nesting partner. She's my primary partner. She's the person that I have built my life around, and that's how I understood the question. It's not that my other partners are disposable. I mean, I will take a bullet for all of them.
So every morning I wake up, I kiss both of them. If I'm mad at her, she gets mad at me. We equally fight. We equally come together. When we make up, we equally come and we all start kissing. It's like this. It's like that little tray of kiss. And then after that kiss, everything's good, and then we go out to eat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I like to add, because I knew that hierarchy existed, so when I met them, knowing that she's a girl and I could feel kind of that feeling of if someone were to enter my relationship, how I would feel, I never wanted to step on her toes. For me, it was very fluid and open and okay, to the point where I hyperactively wanted to make sure she was okay.
Even getting her pregnant, we all discussed it, and she will get pregnant first.
My future relationships will be polyamorous. 3, 2, 1, go.
That's fat, Shaq.
If
Bruh.
I could find somebody who covers every single base, which
I'm gonna settle down at
I'm not really
Marble
sure
10,
it's
50
even
wives.
possible. But if they cover every single base, I, wouldn't need another partner.
I piggyback off of that because I'm similar, right? So for me, I said earlier, right, like my polyamory is not a numbers game. It could be one person, it could be more than one person. My future relationship would be polyamorous. I definitely mean sort of this polyamory in principle and not necessarily in number.
For us, we started out monogamous, and then we opened the door to polyamory, and there's no shutting that door. And the idea that, like Ingrid was saying, would you need another person? Well, we believe we would need another person to do different things with.
I would like my future relationships to be polyamorous, but I also understand that life happens sometimes. If you were to get married or have kids, you might not have the time to be in a polyamorous relationship. And also, because we're open, I feel like any discussion, you can talk to me about anything. So if my partner came to me and was like, hey, I think I want to be monogamous, I would definitely be open to that idea too.
So it's not necessarily that I will be doing this for the rest of my life, but I do want the ability to be open to it. I don't want to be fully monogamous, but I guess I am open to it, like you said, with marriage. And there's many factors that go into it. That's the only reason I'm not strongly agree, but I would more than likely want to be in a polyamorous relationship, even throughout my marriage.
Well, that is officially a wrap for you guys. So.
What should we watch next, chat?
I don't know, are you not jealous? Because I don't want to share my partner at all.
And I have my polyamorous people on the left spotlight and my monogamous people on the right spotlight.
Alright, chat. Let's find out the streamer earlier on. Your smile better be power, I want you. For your love and ain't shit that I won't do. Why they mad? Cause they ain't got nothing on you. Why they mad? Because they ain't got nothing on you. I ain't tryna waste your time. And I ain't tryna make you mine. But if it happened, that's fine. I'm tryna make it right over the time.
I only got one diesel. I didn't even get that close to being expelled. I never got caught for smoking weed. A lot of them got expelled for just smoking weed. Yeah.
So where do you want to go in the future? You want to work on your art more?
Yes.
You asked for advice. Do you actually, what do you feel like? It seems like you go to Steven for advice
a
lot,
boys?
I go to Steven for streaming advice. I don't even like saying his name. He's Destiny. Who knows his real name? But I like to. He's one of the OG streamers. He's been doing Twitch. He said he was the first streamer to do it professionally. So he knows a lot about chat and stuff like that, and getting canceled or getting deleted. So I like to talk to him about stuff like that. And yeah, I think he's smarter than me. I think Destiny and Nick Fuentes are autistic level smart. So I like to talk to those guys because, especially when we went out to dinner, even my girl said that afterwards. You guys, the streamers, you guys talk so fast all the time. It's and whenever there's bullshit, you call it out immediately. Everyone's going fast. It's like you're talking to a chat all the time. I like those fast-paced, high-level conversations. And then when you talk to normies and bots again, it's it's so boring, slow. You guys talking memes and everything, going back and forth. I like that. It's way more fun. So I'd like to talk to him about streaming advice And also, I like to talk to somebody that disagrees with me about pretty much everything because you get a different perspective. It's not Destiny, it's everybody. Like I talk to Myron from Fresh and Fit about stuff. I like talking to people older than me who know more, who are like objectively smarter than me.
That's how you learn.
Okay.
That's
Have you ever
exactly
thought about
how
getting
you
into
learn.
like politics, debating type stuff? Because that's kind of like Destiny's muse.
We've done that, and the first one, like, oh my, yeah, everyone in the chat was saying I sounded dumb because I wasn't. He was like, I'm a debater, and I was just like, I'm just trying to entertain. So like, I'm going back and forth, I'm yelling, I'm asking questions. I wasn't prepared for it as a debate. The second one, my chat said it's a W, but I know a lot of people are probably not going to say that. I'm saying Jack and I took the W to the second debate, but we tried it. That guy is a better debater, so. It's gonna be hard, but yo, him and Nick
Chat,
Fuentes
y'all
going
gotta
back
get a
and
water
forth is like
bottle. This
top
shit be
tier
saving my
content.
life.
Oh my god, I want to get more autistic like that. I want that.
I
You want to be a nerd?
I want to be.
Nah, you
no,
want to
not
be
a nerd. I
more
want to be autistic.
intellectually
But they're for
gifted.
sure nerds. Like that's part of it. Is like they just
It's
read
like
articles
different
for funsies.
spectrums and levels of
And I
consciousness.
do have to play D&D.
Yes. To do politics, you must play the no. But you do have to read, which is boring.
I fucking hate
See,
reading.
look at that. I had a book in my pocket.
Partly because
How
I'm
many shoes I have a
dyslexic,
book in my
but
pocket?
Read it.
I
Tell me
started
one
recently.
I just got it
from that book.
The thing. That's why it was in my pocket.
What's the last book you
when
read?
we move in the room, I gotta
Or
get
article?
The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. I like fiction. I like.
Cause I plan on buying
Which
the
is also
books
like
like
Hemingway's like
IRL,
fiction,
so I
half
could
real, because
personally
it's
read.
based
Cause
on
that
true
shit
stuff,
is
like
a lot
different
different now.
Last
When
article
you
I
just
read
reading online, but
was.
I into a book right now called
Don't remember.
12 Universal Laws of Success.
Articles
Setting
suck. It's all
goals.
clickbait now.
What about like empirical articles? Have you ever read any of those?
Give me an example of one.
Like an empirical article? I could just send you one. You just Google Scholar it. So like anything that would be like peer-reviewed scientific articles.
Yeah. See, right now I'm thinking about the fact that people are going to call me dumb when I say that I haven't read one in a while, and so I was thinking about a way to lie.
Most people haven't read one, to be honest, and most people who read them don't understand them very well because they're a little bit esoteric to read. Because it can be a lot of like numbers, like R equals blah 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 blah. If you don't know what that means.
Send me some. I want to stop being bot, and that was bot of me to not have read those. So I'm gonna.
I
get
agree.
See, look, I'm trying to grow, trying to become better.
Let's talk about numbers. I like, huh?
Yeah, that's good. Have you ever heard of the book "The Moon is a Harsh Mistress"? Do you like fiction?
No.
You might like it. Do you like sci-fi at all?
Nah.
Yeah. Not really.
It's by Robert Heinlein, I think is how you'd pronounce it. There's a really good quote in there that I feel like, I don't know if you'll like it, but I feel like it could improve your life a lot.
Robert Heinlein?
Robert Heinlein, the moon is a harsh mistress. He wrote Starship Troopers.
Okay, this sounds really autistic. I'll check this out.
Hey, if you're wanting to get a little bit autistic, it's a fiction form of it, so you might enjoy it more. There's a line in the book that says, "Question tradition, but distrust the obvious."
Okay.
I feel like you'll like it.
What the name of the book again?
Read it and understand the quote.
Discuss the libertarian ideals.
Yeah, I think so.
I will read that. Good recommendation.
A good book.
I will read that. I will get smarter. I think this is a good place to wrap. I'm getting tired now and I'm feeling dumb for not reading the empirical article. Read one in a while, and so
don't under like.
And pick up.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that I should have?
No. I think you got all the questions that you see. This is good for a woman to have this interview. A man would not ask any of the questions that you asked.
Fair enough.
Not one of those.
No.
Which makes this a unique interview.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. Actually, can you send me the VOD? Because I want to post it on my channel.
Absolutely. If you go to my Twitch, you can actually just always download it from there.
I don't have... You don't...
It's large. I don't record it, but I stream it to YouTube, and so it saves there, and it saves on my Twitch. But I can send you the link of how to download it from Twitch, because that'll...
Okay, this sounds really autistic. I'll check this out.
Hey, if you're wanting to get a little bit autistic, it's a fiction form of it, so you might enjoy it more. There's a line in the book that says, "Question tradition, but distrust the obvious."
That's a good line. Question tradition, but distrust the obvious.
I feel like you'll like it. once you read it and understand the quote.
Discusses libertarian ideals.
Yeah, I think so.
I will read that. Good recommendation.
A good book.
I will read that. I will get smarter. I think this is a good place to wrap. I'm getting tired now and I'm feeling dumb.
So like anything that would be like peer-reviewed scientific articles.
Yeah. See, right now I'm thinking about the fact that people are going to call me dumb when I say that I haven't read one in a while, and so I was thinking about a way to lie.
Most people haven't read one, to be honest, and most people who read them don't understand them very well because they're a little bit esoteric to read. Because it can be a lot of like numbers, like R equals blah 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 blah. If you don't know what that means.
Send me some. I want to stop being bot, and that was bot of me to not have read those. So I'm gonna get better than that. See, look at that. I'm trying to grow, trying to become better. That was very normal of me to not have.
Yeah, that's good. Have you ever heard of the book "The Moon is a Harsh Mistress"?
The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Bro, how did I get here? The
Do you
Moon.
like it? Do you like sci-fi at all?
It's so far off.
Yeah. Not really.
It's by Robert Heinlein, I think is how you'd pronounce it. There's a really good quote in there that I feel like, I don't know if you'll like it, but I feel like it could improve your life a lot.
Robert Heinlein?
Robert Heinlein, the moon is a harsh mistress.
Aight.
He wrote Starship Troopers.
Bruh. Okay. I just want to get the book.
That's where you're from. Or did somebody raid me? Because there's a lot of people here. Okay, yeah. Hi! Hello, welcome. Would I smash Sneeko? No, he reminds me too much of that kiddo that I work with, and so I very much feel a sense of almost like motherly warmth for him. There's no shot. I'm also married, but I was assuming if I was single. Yeah. Brittany Simon's here. Hi.
All right, let's see. Let's see how this will start.
So if I don't like your question, I won't ask it. Just as a warning. I get my note if I don't. At me in the chat with questions that you have for Sneeko. Feel free to. I will pull. I have full control though of this show, so if I don't like your question, I won't ask it. Just as a warning. I get my notebook. I'm a groiper. Can't believe Sneeko and Destiny smashed this chick. They didn't.
Bruh.
Infinite, you're already
you
niggas on nice.
You dudes need to go outside and touch some grass.
For a little bit, okay?
You dudes need to go outside and touch some grass.
Yeah.
Bruh. Ain't no way. Y'all, come on, chat.
He's live watching
Lock in.
I should live watch him.
That question is
Meta.
wild.
Nah, he's not.
Bruh, you.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Question is wild. You welding.
Hi. Right. Well, we're still waiting. Are you playing? You could be playing Valorant with Lily. I'm not watching you back, so I don't actually know what you're going to respond. I think Destiny will de-radicalize you. But you know him. He just wants to save everyone. Really.
Sneeko, you little shit, brother.
Oh, you're good. We. You are watching me as I do this really poorly.
Bruh. I remember this when we used to be playing Fortnite. Trying to hit professional.
Fans, because
it ain't work.
Computer gave up on me, which was extremely weird for me, because I'm not a big deal at all.
We'll still hit it back again. No reason to stop
so I took a picture of him. With him, he's a boxer and stuff like that, and I said, "Your fan's 14, my fan's fresh and clean."
I didn't see it. Oh, you posted on your story?
Yeah, on Instagram. I tagged you.
Oh, oops. Well, I'm a happening guy. I can't see everything.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So what's going on? What's up? I thought that Destiny was trolling me. He was telling me that erudite was a word, was like a real, and I got confused, but it's not.
Wait, what? He told you that? Oh, I mean, it is a word. It's not my actual name.
What is it? What does that even mean?
It means like scholarly or learned.
Oh, okay. So that seems pretty dumb that I didn't know that word, huh?
I mean, it's kind of an esoteric word. Most people don't know what it is. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Stephen
Chat, don't
still
judge me.
can't pronounce it like half the time.
How do you pronounce it? Erudite?
Erudite, no.
Aphrodite.
Yeah, I'm not like a Greek goddess or anything. Not yet.
Shit. Called it wrong.
Right.
Especially a doctrine of modal speech. Intended for
That's true,
literally
I'm
to
not
be
Greek.
understood
I
by
am
the general
super
public.
British. So my queen just died.
Okay, it's not generally understood by the public.
Okay,
Ain't
I'm
common knowledge.
trying to get a consensus of your chat. I want to see how much they dislike me or like me so far.
Okay.
Do they know about me? Chat, do you know who I am at all?
No, I think so. Probably. They probably know who you are. Probably my Twitch viewers are not going to like you as much. My YouTube is a lot more mixed as far as like demographics.
You're double streaming right now? You're double streaming?
What's
you want to see how smart I am? I had a book in my pocket.
Native American wisdom? What the fuck?
Exactly. That's how erudite I am.
That is impressive.
Who has a Native American wisdom book in their pocket? Like, that's just...
Why though? Why do you have a Native American wisdom book in your pocket?
I think my mom sent it to me for my birthday, and I didn't remember that I kept it in my pocket, and I just took it out.
Are you Native American?
Not at all.
Oh, why'd your mom send you a Native American wisdom book?
I don't know. Well, I'll read and find out, and then I'll become more erudite.
That's true, you will. All right, so, humanizing. Excited. Do you want me to explain to you what it is, how it works?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions about yourself. I highly encourage you not look at chat, because I think chat necessarily makes us somewhat performative, and somewhat like modify our answers sometimes because we're like getting immediate feedback from like 200 people. You can, obviously, I can't control what you do, but the whole goal is basically like to me to understand like who you are as a person. So I probably won't debate you too much. There might be some stuff that comes up that I'm going to ask you questions about, but I'm not trying to like lead towards a specific answer. There's no right answers. I'm trying to understand you as a person. The whole idea is, who are you as a person? What are your goals? What makes you tick? And why are you the way that you are?
You did this. Who else have you had on this series of humanizing?
I've actually had only Stardust so far, and I've asked Lauren Southern. I typically try to go for controversial figures specifically. I've reached out to Keffels as well, and Vosh. Those are the people I've reached out to.
Destiny Squad people, right? They sound like those names. Like Stardust is very Destiny group.
Yes.
People.
Yeah, I'm definitely within that orbit for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm so tempted to reach out. I hate not reading it, but I will. Bye, chat. I'm clicking you away. I'm gonna do this humanizing thing properly. Bye. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Here we go.
So, first of all, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
25?
24. Come on.
24. Nice.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you know how old I am?
You're older than me. You're probably 28.
Yeah, I am 28. Good job. That Native American wisdom is paying off for you.
You see what I'm saying? You guys, let me take your name.
So, what are you doing with your content? What's your goal?
My goal is to wake people up and seek truth through funny.
Seek truth through funny.
Yeah, actually wake people up. Let me put that second. I would say ultimately, yeah, seeking truth through funny. That's my mission.
Seeking truth. Is that like your motto?
Yeah, that was my bio on Twitter before I got suspended.
What does that mean?
It means that I think the funniest thing is usually what ends up being true. That's what I find. It's funny because it's true. My favorite comedy has always been truth tellers and truth seekers, and that's the best type of comedy. I don't like comedy without a purpose. I don't like just straight up dick jokes or race jokes or black people do this and white people do that. But even those jokes, the funniest jokes of that nature are because it's true. They point out stereotypes and they point out realities of race that we ignore. So I really like, my favorite stand-up comedians have always been almost social commentators. Like right here, I have Dave Chappelle's autograph. He signed this $100 bill. He gave it to me at a show. That was really cool. Like I can tell that whole story later. But anyway, my favorite comedians like George Carlin, Patrice O'Neill, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, all of them. My favorite bits, they talk about a subject and they debunk it or they put an opinion on it that makes you view it in a different way. Like, for example, this smaller comedian, Marky Gagnon, I think he's on Andrew Schultz's podcast. Not a lot of people know who he is, but I recently saw Andrew Schultz perform at Madison Square Garden, and he had his openers did a great job. And this guy Marky Gagnon is probably a millennial he probably lives in Brooklyn, and he did this joke about Latinx, and it was just the way it just debunked it. It encompassed how stupid it is to call people Latinx, and how white people only do it to try to seem woke, and how Spanish people don't even care about it at all. And they call people racist if you don't. It was a really great way to encompass how stupid that subject is. And so whenever I think about Latinx now, I think back to that bit. And so I just gave that guy a lot of credit for it. But yeah, there's all types of subjects I can think back to a bit, like Dave Chappelle's the black white supremacist bit points out a lot of the double standards and the faulty logic of racism. And that's what I love, because the funniest thing, what makes me always laugh the hardest, is what's true. There's a layer of bullshit in a lot of what we talk about, and comedy, I think, brings it back to reality.
That's one thing I've actually noticed that's kind of interesting about you is one thing I've noticed when talking to a lot of social media people, especially, is it seems like most people in this space are very concerned about optics. They're very concerned about how they say things, because they don't want to come across in a certain way. And one thing I noticed about you is that you seem particularly not concerned about optics at all, to the point where sometimes people have to roll you back and be like, hold up, slow down. Do you know why? Would you agree with this?
Yeah, I do. I agree completely. Right before, I was a little bit late because I was watching this podcast, and these people were talking about how he's anti-Semitic, and it's no, I'm not. I just was talking to a guy who is talking to Nick Fuentes, and he was saying stuff like that. And just because I wasn't pushing back, social media is so quick to take ideas and run with it, but I just don't really care that much. And I'm tired of hearing that well, I don't mean this. Well, to clarify that, and it's just bullshit. And we don't talk like that in real life. When you're talking to your friends and you're cracking jokes like that, you don't always need to have a preamble or preface this by not offending somebody. It's just annoying. So I don't want to have to filter it for social media. That's where a lot of the bullshit comes in, and I just want to separate that. And I have a privilege in doing that because I'm mixed race. I am a lot of different races all in one, so nobody could call me racist, which is a big advantage that I think I have. I'm able to talk about all these different subjects without offending someone. But then I fuck up too at the same time. I got in a big trouble with the Islamic community because I didn't realize how much I was disrespecting the Quran, but I was reacting to haram behavior, and I was doing a joke because there's a running joke in the Red Pill community, that's haram, that's haram. And so every time I saw haram, I started doing the Muslim prayer. I was about to repeat it right now, but I'm not going to, because the amount of threats I was got, it's really tempting to. It's making me laugh just thinking about it, but they got really upset about it. So there's certain things there's a good example of how not filtering yourself can go wrong, because getting all the threats was not fun. But I like to be able to joke and talk about anything, because I think that comedy comes from a place of truth. If you are being funny, you are trying to make somebody laugh. And even if the joke misses, even if the joke offends somebody, you should look back at the intention. The intention was to make somebody smile. So I defend anybody who's trying to make a joke. If they're genuinely trying to make you laugh and it misses or it offends somebody, fuck that. That comes from a good place.
So when you kind of rolled back from the Muslim stuff, was that because you were getting attacked so much, or did you realize that you were actually potentially hurting people or upsetting them in a really real deep way for them? What made you pull back?
I wasn't upsetting anybody. People who were watching my stream, they weren't really upset about that. They understood that I was probably ignorant and didn't realize how it was disrespectful. But I pulled back when someone made a montage on TikTok. It went viral, and every single Muslim person started sending me DMs and sending me death threats. And I had flooded with all these Abduls, Muhammads, and Ahmeds going they're really descriptive about I'm gonna tie a rope around your neck. I'm gonna come outside your house with a baseball bat. They're very descriptive with their threats, and I'm okay, this is I don't like censoring myself, and I don't like succumbing to cancel culture ever or apologizing. But that's a circumstance where, you know what, I don't want to get Charlie Hebdo'd. Let me just not talk about this anymore.
Okay, that's interesting. I noticed also, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, where you realized there's a lot of incels in your chat?
Yeah, it was on my birthday. I knew that they were there, but I didn't really think about it that much. I thought that I was trying to point it out, and we can. Yeah, it really opened up. I went on an E-date, and there were 2 OnlyFans girls on there. I didn't realize that. I didn't know there were going to be OnlyFans girls on the E-date. I just thought it would be fun. It was my birthday. I'm going to go on an E-date. I was there with my girlfriend. We were going to go try to recruit girls. It was going to be fun, and they got so upset. They were really, really angry. They were flooding. They got on my Discord he's a grifter. Like, they were just so mad. And I just saw the attitude they had towards women. I'm like, why are you guys this mad about an E-date on a Thursday night on my birthday? You're going to get that just because I'm talking to a girl who has OnlyFans. People in the chat like, she's succubus. Like, Jesus. Demon sucker, soul taker. It's just an E-date. Like, we know what it is. I wasn't trying to promote it. I was actually telling the OnlyFans girl, like, you guys know how sad what your profession is making people. I know they danced around it, but even then, like, they really got so upset just for the fact that I was talking to them. There's one thing I think between promoting it, and the other thing is just talking to them. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not promoting OnlyFans. I don't think it's good for people, but you can still talk to them. Like, an E-Date doesn't, they're like, you're simping for her. No, I'm not. It's a Discord call, and this is a fucking stream. Why are you getting so mad?
Well, how did that make you feel, though, realizing, like, the level of hatred for women that exists in some of your viewers?
It's my fault. A lot of it, I conjured up this audience, and I did blow up the most when I was in my red pill rage thing, like yelling and going, and just doing all these jokes about how women are brainwashed and about how Kim Kardashian's ruining people and just letting it all out. Like, that really drew in a lot of people. So I tapped into incels across the world. And I don't even like using that word because I don't think you should use it as an insult, but I'm not trying to use it as an insult. It's just the truth of the fact. Like, the 1 in 3 men have not had sex or are virgins. And that's a crazy statistic that's true. So let's be honest. I have a lot of incels that watch my video. They watch my streams and everything. And it didn't make me feel bad. It's just like, oh, all right, I guess I really need to approach this with more self-improvement in mind. Like, yes, I want to see truth through funny, but I recently just had Hamza on my stream. I don't know if you know, he's a self-improvement YouTuber, like one of the guys saying, don't jerk off, Adonis, work out every day. I had him on, man. We used to have beef, and beforehand, I'm like, I'm just an entertainer. I don't care about this bullshit. But a lot of guys could really use that, and they seek it out online because the mentors they have in real life are not helping them a lot. So it made me realize that, okay, I need to try to be somewhat of a role model too. And no, I'm not very good at it, but I think that would be better than like turning into a soy boy who's trying to ban me.
How do you think you can be a role model? What does that mean to you?
I don't even really want to be, but I just want to set a good example I would rather that people try to seek truth and get away from the bullshit that's on social media than become part of it. Like, I think it's better, maybe not even becoming a role model, but I think it's better if people find my content than finding like Ethan Decline or Lasanabi, just like people just complaining all day. This is disgusting. I hate this. Or just Ethan Decline who just gets on stream and lies every day and just sits there and talks about how the gym is like a waste of time. Just feeding bullshit to his viewers. I'd rather that young people that we saw in the climbing gym, like stuff like that, like the 14, 15-year-olds who watch my stuff. Most of them are not, by the way. Most of my audience is probably like 19, 20. But anyway, those 14, 15-year-olds, I think it's better if they find content where somebody's actively trying to seek truth rather than finding streamers and YouTubers who are feeding them lies and just coping all day and are the faces of cancel culture. Those people will lie on a regular basis to get more viewers. They don't want to improve. They don't want to encourage ambition. They are part of the brainwashing. They're encouraging men to get weaker and slower and dumber and take antidepressants, and it's just disgusting. I hate that, and I'd rather steer them against that. Maybe not a role model, but I'm trying to push men away from that.
Why do you hate it, personally?
Because it's just so full of shit. I hate bullshit.
Why?
It disgusts me. Just making like, what? You're just gonna lie? I get repulsed by it, and I don't know. I can't. Why do I hate bullshit?
Yeah, when did that start? Like, how old? Do you remember how old you were the first time?
Is
you were
that
like,
a
that's
therapy
bullshit,
session?
and you had like this disgust response to it?
Probably I was like 8 years old in catechism. I thought that a bunch of the stuff that we were learning about, like I was listening to the priest drone on and do a speech every single day. We had to go to church every day, and I was like, what the fuck does this guy know? I'm 8, and I'm like, what does he know? The guy can't get married. All he does is go to church every day. He has no life experience, and he's trying to tell me stuff about life. This is boring. I hate this. I'm sitting there wearing my socks and my church shoes and my khakis. I hate this. Why am I here? I want to go play with Legos. I used to like sneak in rubber bands just to play with it in church because like every day, okay, stand up, sit down, kneel, get the thing, it's just like routine. It's like, what am I doing? I'm just here to conform with everybody else.
Interesting. So 8. Tell me a little bit about your life. You grew up, you don't need to like say necessarily the city, but what demographics were you growing up around? Were you like middle class, lower class?
Born in New York City, and I lived in Brooklyn for a little bit, but I mostly grew up in New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven, they call it Pistol Wave in New Haven. It's a city, it's big. For Connecticut, it's only like 125,000 people. And it's weird because New Haven is simultaneously the hood, but also really suburban Connecticut. So you have the combination of like Greenwich, New York commuters who go like work in expensive offices and doctors and a bunch of Yale employees, but also like you literally a street over is the projects. And that's why they call it.
Like it's a super stratified town, right? Where there's like kind of like the elites and then there's like the townies and they like don't really interact at all. Which were you?
So it's weird because I was like a combination of both. Like my neighborhood was okay. I would say middle class, like very diverse. I wouldn't call it like white suburban, but there was a bit of everybody. But yeah, I had a front yard. But then also I went to private school. I had a scholarship. I never went to public school my whole life. I was in private school my entire life off of scholarships. And so I was around those waspy type people my whole childhood. I was always kind of, and it took me a long time to realize that I was an outsider. I didn't fully understand why I didn't fit in until I was like going through puberty and like they think I'm different. And my mom always wanted to be. My mom is the Asian one. My dad's Haitian. Asians have this thing where they kind of try to blend in as a token minority. So instead of, I never got like the black talk where black kids will get to talk like they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Like watch out for the cops. My mom would just like try to blend me in and try to fit in with the white people. And it didn't work out for me because one, I'm not full Asian, and two, it's like they don't like me. Like I don't want to have to fit in with them. I don't want to match them just to get their approval or whatever. They don't even like me. Like why am I gonna have to go undercover and pretend? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of Asians will just try to assimilate, and they won't try to speak up. They don't talk loud. They're just quiet, and they want to fit into white America because they're the token minority. And I think that's when I realized. I forgot your question. I'm just talking right now.
No, you're good. So went to private school, was never fit in. Did you have friends? Like when you say never fit in, what does that mean specifically?
They would all go to the lawn club or the pool club after school. And like with the golf clubs and the pool and the squash and the, you know what I'm saying, white people shit. And then I asked my mom, like, can we join? Yeah, tennis, like pink shorts, vineyard vines. And I'm like, Mama, can we go there? I want to go to I want to hang out with all my friends. Like, are you kidding me? We can't afford that. There was one pool club that the whole school went to, and it was like up until like 1960s they didn't even allow Jews in there. It's crazy how segregated this place is, and I'm like, I didn't understand. I'm like, all my friends are going there after school. I want to go too. It was like, no, we can't fucking afford that. What are you talking about? I'm not going to the lawn club. That was, but I'd say I had friends like they were my friends, but we're just very different. We just lived different. I had huge houses with pools, and some of my friends had elevators in their cribs. I grew up around some rich fucking kids, man. Elevators in the crib, movie theaters in the crib. They'd be like the big gaming systems, the giant TVs, and I'd always want to sleep over so I could play Call of Duty over there. My mom would never let me play the video games. When I was young, I had a Wii, and so I just could be over there with their sick food, all the dope snacks, giant pools, bikes, everything like that. That was where I wanted to go have fun, and then I go back home, and it was like, we had action figures and stuff like that. Game Boys. It wasn't as fun.
Right, because you were more middle class, right? So you didn't have access to all of like the elevators and pools and dirt bikes and ATVs.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't fit in. Private school through scholarships. What kind of scholarships were these? Like grades or?
No, it weren't grades. I think that there were minority scholarships. I could tick off a lot of boxes because I'm very mixed. So it's like the minority quota. I check off like 17 boxes at once. So I'm a good student to have if you want to put a picture up on the website. Actually, they didn't really put me on the website, but I was good for the diversity quota. I think like for high school especially, that school was like $50,000 a year. I went for free. And I paid like I think $1,000 a year.
Oh, that's crazy. So were you good at school? Like, did you enjoy it?
I wasn't bad. I would say I was like up until like 8th grade. I was one of the smarter kids. I was really fast doing the multiplication tables and everything, and I picked up a lot of stuff quickly. I was always pretty good at English and writing. I got compliments from my teachers, but then after like science and chemistry and algebra and the letters came in to the numbers, I just lost it, and I just cheated on everything. I cheated on my SAT. I cheated on every standardized test. I cheated on all my homework. I just found a way to finesse it, which I think is like almost as smart as the smart kids, because at the end of the day you get the same results. You're just doing work a different way.
Do you feel behind though because you didn't learn that stuff as much? You had to like cheat your way through?
No, not at all.
How do you, when you tell people that you cheated your way through, do you care about it? Or because you said it makes me like feel smart, is that like a cope, or do you genuinely kind of feel proud that you cheated your way through?
No, I feel proud.
School after grade 8?
I think it's dope. I like finessing. I think that's interesting. And I dropped out of school and I do my own thing. I don't work a job. I just got my own thing going on. It makes me, I guess I feel a sense of pride that like, yo, I didn't fuck the system. I did what I want. I did it my own way. I don't feel any sense like, oh, I'm not as smart as the smart kids because I didn't study the Pythagorean theorem. I did the shit my own way. Like you guys did, you did what you were told to do. Fuck that shit. I found my own path.
Do you think most people can do what you did?
Yeah, but
they make their own path.
I think most people can, but most people won't because they just don't believe they can, or they think it's bad. I remember telling my brother, for example, that I cheated on the standardized test. He's like, "Why would you do that? No, that's bad." And it's like, shut up. I can't say the word that I called him, but I called him a slur. Shut up, man.
Okay. So did you drop out of high school?
No, I dropped out of college.
So you don't think that you're like unique in any way? Like you think anyone could do what you did?
Yeah.
Do you think anyone could be where you are right now? Like you're kind of like, essentially you're replaceable. Like what you're doing is unique, but not so unique that nobody else could just be exactly where you are doing the same stuff.
And yeah, anybody can do. What do I do? I talk to a camera. I make jokes. I react to videos. I film stuff. Make cinematic stuff. I learned an editing program from YouTube tutorials. Like the shit that I do is not that hard. It just don't care about a lot. I think what makes me unique, I guess, is the fact that I don't care about a lot of stuff that people care about.
Why don't you? Have you ever cared?
I did, and I just didn't. What didn't make me happy.
Okay, tell me about that.
I guess I cared about fitting in, and then it felt lame, and I remember trying to like impress the cool kids to try to get their approval, and never getting respect, because once you realize later on, cool people can sniff that out. Like nobody wants to be with the guy who wants your attention so bad. They want to be with somebody else who got their own thing going on. Nobody, like the guy like, oh, please like me. It's like very obvious. And once I realized that, I'm like, fuck, why am I trying to be liked so bad? I want to do my own thing. And then I realized that people are attracted to that.
Okay, how old were you when that change happened?
Probably, it was like a slow, like all through puberty, like probably like, 12 to, or maybe even like 10 to 15. It was like a gradual learning process.
And then is that when you started doing YouTube? Because I think you started YouTube around 15, right?
I started YouTube when I was 14. My first channel maybe was like 12, but like my main channel, Sneeko, I started 2013. I was 14 turning 15. Yeah, I was 14 years old when I started that channel. And all my videos are still up. Hopefully, they're probably going to go dig it up and try to cancel me for shit I said when I was 14, but I'm going to leave all those videos up. That actually helped me a lot. Finding my voice and becoming more of like finding my own personality and not trying to impress people was making like my Call of Duty commentaries, because I was alone in my room just talking, being able to express myself freely, not caring about judgment, not caring about how people looked at me. That really had a big effect on me, being in school and then trying to be liked all the time by people that, I don't even really have anything in common with. When I found that online, and I kept it secret for so long, I didn't tell anybody. When they found out, I got made fun of a lot, obviously, but it didn't bother me that much. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing, man. What are you doing?
Right. Okay. So you started doing that. Did it make you feel like the big fish? Like, were you successful at all, or were you just enjoyed kind of the freedom of getting to like do what you wanted to do?
I wasn't that successful in hindsight, but at the time, like I remember getting my first YouTube AdSense check when I was like 14, and I bought this pillow that I could put up against my wall, like a pillow that you could lean up on like this. And I remember every day, like coming back from school, leaning on this, like, yo, I bought this with YouTube money.
It's like your
I
throne.
fucking made it. Yeah, like this is my man cave. I paid for this from Call of Duty videos. I was so proud of that. This one item, I made that from talking to a camera playing Call of Duty. That took so much. I thought that was successful.
What did your parents think?
They still have the same exact attitude towards my YouTube channel as they did when I started. Both of them. My mom is kind of on the side of like Twitter cancel culture, where she's like, "You need to stop doing this," like you. But she'll also send me books like this, and she'll want me to improve and stuff like that. She's still a mom. My dad, at the start, like he had like mixed opinions about the stuff I was saying, but he was very supportive. My dad was one of the most supportive people, and I think maybe that's the reason that I can do what a lot of people can do, I guess, when it comes to this. Like I have a very, very supportive dad who almost lives vicariously through me. We went to the same school for the same. We both went to a school in New York for film, but he ended up getting a job and like really raising his family full time. My parents are still together. Almost nobody I know is like that. They've been married for 30 years. My dad has been fully committed to being a dad, and he was like that support that I think a lot of people don't have that really made me successful. So
I'm still gonna get what I want.
And he was one of the biggest things I remember. He bought me my Elgato game capture from Best Buy when I was really trying to start. That was the big deal. It was like $200, but that was such a big deal for like a teenager to have an Elgato. That was like, yo, you can now do this. You can make YouTube videos. He was supportive. I kept it secret from them for a long time. I think my younger brother knew. My younger brother Vincent, he's 18 months younger. I was only telling him. My sister didn't even know about my YouTube channel for like 2 years after I made it.
I think that was really.
But yeah, my dad was always very supportive. He's always like one of my. He still is like my biggest fan.
It has no purpose to me.
He's gonna watch this.
I will hear on this side.
How many of your fans have a good dad?
I will hear on this side. I will hear on this side.
How many of my fans?
I catching stray bullets. Me? Nah.
I would say
good.
Not as I haven't thought about that before, but I think a lot of men, like what I've noticed when I started streaming, is that a lot of men are looking for some sense of guidance. So a lot of men are really lost and they look for it online, and it didn't take that long to figure it out. Just I have a 95% male audience, and I was just seeing the chat and the stuff that they were telling me to react to, the stuff that they were interested in. I'm like, this is really what's going on. This is the common psyche for the average man in the West, or the average man with an internet connection all over the world. And that woke me up. And so maybe I think that it's rare. I don't think a lot of my stream has the same father figure that I have had, which helps me. And it probably trickles down from him onto the viewers.
Yeah, we were talking about do you think anyone could do what you're doing or are unique? And that's not something you've done, but that's one really unique thing about you is you have a really good dad. So your dad is super supportive. So it sounds like he basically, I'm not sure if I was understanding. It sounded like he had a bit of a dream and he gave up on some of that to support you guys as a family. Did I understand that correctly, or am I just making up a narrative?
That's true. I mean, he's still a really talented artist. Like you see these pictures over here. I have these up for a while. These are a lot of people think these are paintings. These are photographs that my dad took.
Oh wow,
that's
those
Russ.
Are beautiful.
And the other one, they're both rust, right? It looks like people have no idea what it is. The guy's extremely talented. Yeah, everyone thinks it's flowers or like a picture of skyline, picture of an ocean. I don't have the one in here, but he didn't get to fully commit to his dream to be an artist. But he does shows. He has his website. He does his photography. I would consider him a great artist, but he wasn't able to fully focus on it like I am because his dad wasn't around as much as he is as a father, which I think is probably why he was so committed to being a good dad, is because his dad was he was a drinker, stuff like that. The guy fought in World War II, and he was probably the toxic male. I hate that word toxic, but that John Wayne type guy where you don't talk about your feelings ever, you don't connect with your kids, you don't hug him because it's gay. That was my grandfather, and so I think it really had an effect on my dad, and he wanted to be the best father he could be, and that it really helped me a lot.
Super cool. Can you tell me more about your dad? What made him? Because you're.
And so I hate that word toxic, but that John Wayne type guy where you don't. And
it's your grandpa seemed kind of cold, removed, kind of alcoholic. What was your dad like?
Well, I never met my grandfather. He died before I was born, but that's just stuff that I've heard from my dad. And he was more. I think he would beat up his kids and stuff like that. I mean, I got hit, but nothing crazy, nothing terrible. I'm not traumatized. My dad was just very supportive. Always, here's an example of my dad.
Something wrong.
I played really competitive soccer when I was growing up. I used to play against Like the academy players, like people who are now professional. I used to play against them. I was probably one of the worst players on the team, but I was like, and I was a sub. I'm not gonna lie, like I was a sub. I was on the bench, but my dad would drive like 4 hours to go to a game, to be in the rain. And he's there, and like I'd be on the bench, and it doesn't matter. He's still on the sideline holding his umbrella. And then when I get on, I'd be like, pressure, pressure, anticipate, come on. Like, really living vicariously through me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and even now he still sees it that way. Everything that I'm doing online and all the work I created, all the artistic videos that you like on my main channel, he sees it as like, kind of like he's playing a video game. Like he's playing The Sims and I'm his character. So in a sense, it's like he didn't give up on his dream. He just passed it along to me.
How does he treat your mom? They've been married for how many years? 30?
Yeah, over 30 years, something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. They have a good relationship?
Yeah, they do. They have a great relationship.
Yeah, that's super cool. So what does he model to you? Like, what do you view him as a good man?
Yeah, he's a great man. Yeah, great man. And like a great example of a great father.
Yeah. How would you characterize
it's crazy
that?
talking about this. I haven't, you know what, I just want to, before you answer the next question, like I almost haven't wanted to talk about that. One, because it's like, it almost seems less cool. Because there's like, when you have read a movie or something like that, or when someone